Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Choices Finding Your Joy. Your host, Paula Vail. So happy to have everyone with us today. I'm so thrilled to have just a fun, amazing guest today. Let me introduce to everyone Megan Edge. She is a master healer, intuitive counselor, educator, and author. I'm so happy to have you here today, Megan.
Thank you, Paula. It is such an honor to be here with you today. I'm really looking forward to our time together.
Thank you, and I'm so honored. Energy sister, it's just so fun. I'm so excited for everything you're going to share today. I would love to begin, Megan, because your book is so fantastic. Tell us a bit about, what prompted you to write your book, and share a little bit about your book with us, please.
Thank you. I will. It was a real journey, Paula, the whole creation and evolution of this project. It's really more than a book. It's an entire boxed set of healing tools. The title of the box set is The Heart's Journey, Healing Hearts, Oracle Cards, and Guidebook. And it comes from my own heart's journey of transitioning out of a 23-year marriage and relationship and all that entails, and moving through those heart wounds into a place of new love and new perspective and a healed heart. And then wanting to take that story out into the world and share it with other people who are going through similar circumstances. Because when we can connect through the story, that's one of the ways that we can do really deep healing.
I love it. I love it. So tell us what's in your book. Give us some ideas of what they're going to experience and feel reading your book, Megan.
Absolutely. Can I show it to you?
Yes, please do.
So this is the cover of the main book. And in the book, I share my heart's journey. I share my story of how it is that I am someone that can speak of this and can understand what it's like to go through a process like this and go through the pain and the joy of all of it. And in that story, I share a really important piece, which is the symbol that I asked for from the universe when I was desperate for some kind of a sign that would show me the path to follow.
Yes.
And to give away the punchline, what it ended up being was hearts. So I began to see hearts all over the place in nature, painted on the side of the wall, carved into the cement, up in the shape of clouds. And I began taking photographs of these hearts so that I would have them as a reminder to always follow my heart above all other voices. And at first I just kept them to myself. They were just for me.
Yes.
And then when I did eventually step out of that relationship and had to support myself and my girls through my work as a healer, I began to share the hearts with other people. I felt that if they were that beneficial for me, that they could make a difference for other people as well, as an inspiration to always touch base with our heart and to really listen to what our heart is saying. And the response was so amazing through my Facebook page that this thought started to come into my mind of creating a set of oracle cards as a way to share the wisdom of each of these individual hearts as they came into my experience. So I took 42 of these hearts and I created a deck of beautiful oracle cards with channeled messages on the other side of them, and eventually put it all together with Balboa Press and Hay House into this beautiful box set that has the book, it has the oracle cards, it has a journal that we created so that you can write all of your various card pulls and inspirations in the journal. It comes with a pen. It comes with everything that you need to be able to sit in that healing energy of your heart and work with those heart wounds and heal them.
So when someone receives the book, they receive the cards, and so they draw a card and then they journal on that?
That's right. Yeah, one of the things that I share in the book, in the guidebook, is how to work with the oracle cards. So anyone who's familiar with tarot cards would be familiar with oracle cards. And if some of your viewers aren't, essentially they're meditation cards, they're inspiration cards. So for example, here's the first one in the deck. It's called Healing Hearts. And when you turn it over, there's a guided message on the back. This one says, "It takes many to heal one. Ask for help and be open to support. You are not meant to take this walk alone. Reach out to others as your story will be healing to them as well."
Oh, I love it.
So there's lots of different ways that you can work with them. You can do what you were suggesting, Paula, and pull one card and sit with that message and the energy of it throughout your day, or in response to a question that you might have about where your heart is, or how its healing is unfolding. You can do a 3-card spread. You can do a many card spread. There's so many different ways to work with them. They're such an amazing healing tool.
Wow. So if you do a 3-card spread, what is that? What does that tell you?
The way that I work with a 3-card spread is the traditional way, which is a past, present, and future. So the first card represents the recent past, the events that you've gone through recently. The middle card represents the present moment. And the 3rd card represents the future, the near future. And then I take it deeper. The first card also represents the mind. The second card represents the soul, mind, body. The second card represents the body. And the 3rd card represents the soul. And then we take it even deeper. The first card represents the situation.
Oh, wow.
The second card represents the guidance. And the 3rd card represents the outcome if the guidance is followed.
Gosh.
So we end up with a 9-card spread, or a 9, what would you call it? Like a 9 event card spread. So with each of those 3 cards, you go deeper and deeper with each one of them. Very powerful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That can really be a great tool for someone, can it? That is in a situation in their life that I really need some messages. I really need some messages, and those cards would help them with that.
Absolutely. I pull my own cards all the time.
Oh.
I love oracle cards. I have a basket of about 50 other decks. There's so many beautiful, inspirational ways that people are showing up in the world with their own wisdom, and then creating these beautiful tools that help us to connect with what it is that we're here to change and do and heal. And they become these wonderful healing tools.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Would you like me to pull a card for you today?
I love it. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, here we go, everyone.
Here we go. Okay. So I'm shuffling the deck. I'm just giving it a shuffle. And as I'm doing that, I'm thinking of you. I'm connecting in with your beautiful energy. And I'm asking for you to have a message that is what your heart is saying to you at this time and in this moment. And we'll just see what it is. Oh, beautiful. So this one is called Loving Self-Heart.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I love it. I love it.
It's a beautiful little oyster shell.
Oh.
All of the photos are my own photography, and they were all taken up along here on the West Coast where I am. Victoria, British Columbia, the Gulf Islands, down the California coast, and over in Hawaii as well.
So they're all your photos. Oh, how special is that, Megan?
Yeah. So the message of this card says, how do you see yourself in love? Are you wanting to be put on a pedestal to be noticed, or are you ready to be seen as an equal partner?
I love it.
And then from here, you could go into the guidebook, and each card has its own page in the guidebook that takes you deeper into the story of each of these hearts.
Yes.
What deeper messages it has for you. So this card in particular, Loving Self-Heart, is really all about how are you showing up in partnership, whether that's partnership with an intimate partner, or with a coworker, or with a friend. And are you really allowing yourself to simply be seen?
Oh,
and it can be confirmation that that is what you're doing.
Yes.
Right? Because I know that is part of what you're doing right now in your journey, is showing up and letting people see you.
Yep. That is true. A lot of people.
Yes.
Yes, and that takes courage.
It takes an enormous amount of courage. And that's also a lot of what this whole healing tool is about. It's about having the courage to follow your heart.
Yeah. And what a gift, Megan, I believe, with beginning with my radio shows and now doing TV, what a gift it is to be able to just send love to so many. I couldn't receive a greater gift. Yes. I have a key next to my recording equipment that I wrote love on it, because I believe love is the key.
It is, absolutely it is. And it's something that we really need to move into and allow in our lives. For me, one of the wake-up calls was feeling the difference of trying to get myself noticed
Mm-hmm.
and the experience of somebody simply seeing me and accepting me in my totality without
Yes.
a need to try to change me or put me in a box or
Mm-hmm.
have me meet their expectations.
Yeah.
And it was one of those incredible heart-opening moments and realizations of this is what it is to be in complete partnership, to be in complete love.
Yeah. So
Without
would you say it's not about, being something that they're going to notice or on a pedestal? Really, it's about just having that loving energy. And
that's right.
that's what people are going to feel.
And loving the self.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is where every relationship begins. It's with the self. So when you're in love with yourself, you really know who you are. You're standing in that authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's easier to not get hooked into what you think other people are thinking about you.
Yes.
But instead simply show up and allow yourself to be seen.
Yes. Oh, what a powerful message. And that's a beautiful message for someone who is in a situation and looking for the right relationship or wanting a better professional relationship or anything that works in all areas, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And that's why these cards are so beautiful, is it's not just the love relationship in terms of, that primary lover. It is all relationships that we have. And how do we wish to show up in those relationships?
Yes. Yes.
And not all of it is necessarily an easy route or always a pretty place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I found when I was creating these cards and when I was listening to the messages that the heart images had for me, and then for everybody else, I remember one in particular. It was this beautiful spider web. I'll see if I can find it in the book. It's a spider web that's shaped like a heart. Here it is.
Oh, fun.
Can you see that? Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
And it was on an old growth stump in the forest. And when I first saw it, my assumption was the message would be all about connecting, weaving our stories. And when I sat to do the channeling, this message came through about what it's like to be trapped in someone else's love.
Yes.
That sometimes there are those relationships in which, despite our best efforts, to move out of that relationship becomes problematic when the other person isn't willing to let that go.
Yeah.
And the final message of that heart piece is seek help.
Yes.
You're not to do this by yourself. If you feel isolated and alone and you feel like you can't extricate yourself because of someone else's need of you, then reach out. And that was my experience. Every single one of these cards is my experience. Every message on here is something that I went through in this journey to really stand in my own sense of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. What triggered you to make the cards, Megan? Was it, you had these messages and you just really wanted to share?
Yes, that was part of it. Being an intuitive counselor, being a healer, I was very good at holding other people's stories, helping them to reframe the relationship that they have with their stories. And I could see the power of that. The work I had yet to do for myself was exactly that, was to bring my story out into the open for anyone to see and respond to and resonate with or not, when I had no control over what that response was going to be. And so when you talk of courage, Paula, really, truly to allow someone else to see your story is very nerve-wracking.
That takes courage. That does.
Courage. And my clients were the ones that gave me the courage to take my story and allow it to be a part of their healing journey. Those private pieces of myself and my experience that they were asking to know about.
Yes. Tell us about your services that you do for others, Megan.
Thank you, Paula, for asking. What I call the work I do is mind, body, and soul healing. So the work that I do is, as an intuitive counselor, we do the story holding and the story healing, and that's the mind piece. The body piece is the energy work that I do. And I've developed over the last 10 years a modality called intuitive energy massage that I now teach as a certification program. It's amazing. It takes massage and pranic healing, cranial sacral healing, Reiki, white light, body talk, all these different modalities, and brings it into a really powerful, powerful healing tool. So that's the energy work that we do. And then a number of other energy pieces. I do a lot of shamanistic work. I do a lot of feathering, clearing, all of that wonderful thing, all those wonderful things. And then the soul piece is when we do the past life work, going into other lifetimes and those stories that we might have brought into this lifetime for healing, for learning from, and the soul retrieval, which is where we have trauma. We've left a piece of ourselves at that site of that trauma. And through the soul retrieval work, we allow ourselves to bring that piece back to home, which is us, so that we can be whole again.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And I love your sprays. Please tell everyone about your beautiful sprays as well.
Oh, thank you.
That's such a huge part. I believe in sprays at home, in your workplace. I mean, what it does for a room. Tell us about your sprays.
Thank you. Well, the sprays evolved along with my own work as I was really stepping into being a healer as my full-time work. One of the things that I wanted to do was expand what I was doing, what my services could be. And I've always been drawn to aromatherapy. I've always been drawn to nature, to plants, to the cycles that the earth goes through. And so to that end, I took a lovely energy medicine practitioners program here in Victoria with a beautiful woman named Sabine Pettit. And through her, I learned about creating tinctures, nature essences. And I felt that the tincture itself is brilliant. It's a beautiful healing tool. It's one that you take orally. But there was no fragrance to it. There was no scent. And I really wanted to be able to incorporate the scent and using aromatherapy as a healing tool, as well as the energy matrix of the plant or the mineral or the ocean, whichever one it was. So at her course, we had to create one of these nature essences. I actually did 3 that week. I was a bit of a keener. And each one I did for myself, for something that I needed help with. It was just after I'd left my marriage and I was feeling like I needed some real support. I needed something more than just being able to tell my story. I needed something that would remind me, that would anchor my intention to shift the things I needed to shift and do the work that I needed to do. And then as I was working with them for myself, clients were asking, it smells really good in here. What is that? So I began sharing these essences, the first 3 with my clients who absolutely loved them, resonated with them. They felt so empowered to leave a healing session with a tool that they could take with them.
Yes.
Continue work for themselves in between the sessions. And I really was able to see how powerful that is in terms of creating for my clients a self-empowerment around their own healing. Because as you know, Paula, ultimately, we're not doing the healing for our clients. Our clients are doing the healing, and we're holding space for that.
Yes. I love
that was the idea behind creating these essences, was to allow my clients to take something with them that can remind them of the work that we're doing and the intention that they have to heal themselves in between the sessions. I started with 3. I now have 11 in the nature essence line, and they're all different kinds. I have the 4 seasons. This is one of my newest and favorite ones. It's water charged during the solstices and the equinoxes.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And then the energy essence of the flowers and plants that were blooming at the time on the day of. And then the blend that supports what each of those essences are, and then each one connects to the meaning of that season for us. So summer, for example, is clarity and dispelling illusions.
Yes.
Fall is about reemergence and finishing up projects and creating energy for ourselves. Winter is about introspection and doing the deep shadow work that we all have to do at one point or another. And spring is all about new beginnings.
Yeah.
So as you go through these experiences in your life, let's say you're starting a new school or a new project or a new job, and you want to remind yourself to stay in that energy of that excitement and that creativity, spray your spring essence and you breathe it in and you say, yes, I can do this. So each one is meant to support. And then from there, I've created a whole line of chakra spray.
Oh, fun.
Bath bubbles,
Fun.
lotions. And in that there are 13. There's 13 chakras that I work with. So the main 7, and then the foot, the hand, the soul chakra, and one of the newest ones coming into our awareness, the 9th chakra, which is our
Oh,
trust.
I love that. Oh, I love that.
Mm.
Ah, I love the 9th chakra. I love it. I love it.
And really, I just love being witchy. I love brewing. I love concocting. I love creating these beautiful tools that help us so gently but deeply do the changes that we need to do in order to live our lives the way we came here to live them, on purpose and with reason.
Yeah. And I love that, Megan, that you mix so many modalities in what you do. I absolutely love that. We can all do that. You know, bring in our favorite modalities,
Mm-hmm.
you know, use these as tools to enhance our own lives and others, and have fun.
That's right.
You know, being creative is so fun.
It absolutely
Which
is.
Is just happiness, you know, that just contributes to our happiness.
It's when we're walking our purpose path.
Mm-hmm.
And we really feel that support and that love and that trust and that energy, and we see that we're being of service to others and that we're making a difference in their lives. And it's one of the reasons that I teach, Paula, and I've created this 9-month program called the Confident Healer, so that healers and those that are feeling the call to be a healer can have a place in which they can learn with other, in this right now it's mostly for women, to learn with other women how to really stand in our power to do our own healing work first.
Yes.
And then to learn all these tools and techniques that my students can then take out into the world as healers and do this work in their own way.
How fun. Can you tell the viewers how they can contact you to look into becoming one of your students or order your products?
Yes, I would love that. If they go to my website, which is www.meganedge.ca, they'll find all the information there and lots of different ways to get in touch with me. I'm also on Facebook at Side Chicks Healing Studio, which is the original name of my business. Side Chick because we need to laugh. We need to not always take ourselves so seriously, although the work we do is serious.
Yes.
I wanted to connect with that fun side as well as we go through healing. I'm also on LinkedIn. I have a YouTube channel where we put all manner of videos explaining what we do, teaching people how to do some of the visualizations and the meditations that I work with. All of my talks and my public speaking, we record them all and they're available on my YouTube channel.
Excellent.
Benefit from all these workshops, and it's all free content on there as well.
Love it. Excellent. So many wonderful things for the viewers. So what would you say for yourself, Megan? Do you have a favorite quote or a particular thing that you focus on or do, let's say, every morning? Do you have anything like that that you'd like to share with us?
I do. There's 3 that immediately come to mind.
Oh, good.
The first is in the morning before I get out of bed, I always connect with my chakras. And I do a quick chakra check-in. I put my hands over each chakra, beginning with my root chakra.
Okay.
And I just let my body take a nice deep cleansing breath at each chakra center to clear out anything that I picked up during the previous day or that needs to be released from early on in life or whatever, or just simply to connect and to balance that chakra. And I move all the way through my body. The other thing I like to do in the mornings before I get out of bed is to invite ease and cooperation into all of my encounters and interactions throughout the day. I find that to be so powerful. And then what's so amazing, Paula, is how easily things show up for me, how much cooperation and collaboration I come across, people wanting to help, people wanting to connect. And I believe it's because I create that intention every day to invite the energy of those power words into that day.
Yes.
And then the third one, you were asking about a favorite quote.
Yes.
It's an Anissa Nin quote. And I won't do it justice, but essentially it's the one in which she says she came to a point in her life where she realized that to stay tight as a bud was more painful than to bloom.
Oh, Oh, I love that.
And I know your viewers will find the proper wording of it, but that's the gist of it. And I remember when I came across that quote, I was in my mid-30s. I just lost my mother. I was feeling very lost myself, and I was feeling very tight in my body. I was feeling that I wasn't expressing myself. I lost myself. And I came across that quote in a card in a metaphysical shop, and I burst into tears when I read it, because it was exactly where I was at.
Yeah.
It was too painful to stay small. It was too painful to not bloom, to not step into what it is that I came here to do.
Yes.
To be of service, to help, to create space for healing, to teach others how to step into their healing abilities, to bring in messages about that, about love and about compassion and understanding.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
I read that and I cried, and I put it on my business card. And it really was one of those pivotal moments, one of those wake-up calls of, yes, this is what I'm being called to do. I'm being called to bloom. And so many of us are right now around the world, men and women. We're being asked to open up, to shine, to show, to say, look at me, not from a place of, I need to be noticed, from a place of, look at this beautiful being, look at this beautiful body, look at this beautiful intention, this beautiful life. And as soon as we open, that's when we can heal.
Let ourselves bloom. Oh, I love that, Megan. I love that. Well, I'm afraid we are going to have to say goodbye. Any last words that you'd like to share before we say goodbye, Megan?
I would love for every single one of your viewers to know how amazing they are, how incredibly wise they are, how incredibly beautiful they are, and that each and every one of them has a purpose, has a reason. And when they have the courage, and they do, they are so courageous to say yes to that vision, that thing that they know they're here to do, that the whole world will open up for them.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Megan. That's beautiful. I'm just so thrilled to have you on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paula. It's been a real, absolute pleasure.
Love, hugs, and blessings. And to all our viewers out there, love, hugs, and blessings. See you soon. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.